Humans take the path of least resistance. It's just in our nature to do that. And so when something is hard, we don't want to do hard things. And so exerting myself physically is probably physically the hardest thing that I can do all day long. Yes, it's a place of business and those types of things, but it's a space of wellness, and it is a ministry to help other people. You need people that are your loudest cheerleaders, and I think that should come from your community. I think it should be coming like, I see you, girl, doing this, and I realize how hard it is. I see another personal trainer that's just getting started, and I've been in this for 15 years. Like, people will be like, oh, well, they're my competition, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're your teammate.
What's up, guys? Lift and Love. Lift and Love here. Where did you pull this question from? Why is that? Lift Love. Crochet. We out. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Lifting Love podcast. You are awesome. Before we get into today's episode, I want to shout out Lake Hickory Pub and Marina, where lake and life meet, for allowing us to film our episodes here. All their social media will be in the description below. Go check them out. Amazing people, amazing organization. But let's go right into the episode. We have someone who wears many hats. Her hat collection is very full. You just open the closet, it's all hats. She is the owner, operator, and everything in between for TK Wellness. It's Miss Taylor Keys. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. Wait for the applause. Sorry. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for coming on Lifting the Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, really, for people who don't know you, maybe they live under a rock. That's okay. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Taylor Keys. I am the owner of TK Training and Wellness. We are an all-inclusive wellness studio that offers everything from personal training, nutrition coaching, hot and cold therapies, Thai massage, stretch therapy, meals, everything you can think of that is under health and wellness in our scope. You name it. And we are your one-stop shop for all things health and well.
I love it. Where's your fitness journey begin?
Honestly, as a child.
Really?
So growing up, fitness was my outlet. It was how I connected with myself and how I worked through emotions. It was just always a healthy way for me to express what was going on internally. And so it started off in contact sports like soccer and, your Optimist clubs and those types of things. And it was a way where I could express frustration or things that were just going on, and I could, release that into the game. And so, I don't have the best health history. My family is not, the deck of cards, I guess, are not very healthy. And so I think it was just a means for me to be proactive and to learn ways to take care of myself in hopes that hopefully it would prevent from, me having issues as I got older. Yeah.
Was there one sport in particular? You said soccer. Was soccer like your sport?
Yeah, soccer was my sport. Loved soccer. Honestly, just loved hitting people legally.
Hey, what you say?
That's right. So I was a midfield defensive type player, and so it allowed me to be just aggressive, lean into people, kick people in the shins, those types of things. Sometimes a yellow card or red card.
What do you mean? It was an accident. It was an accident.
But it was an outlet for me, and I really enjoyed being active. And I wasn't natural at anything, so I had to work really hard to be decent. And then kind of fast forward, I had the opportunity when I graduated high school to run in college. So I would run cross country and track kind of during off seasons before soccer. And that was just kind of a way to keep myself in shape because I would run the field a lot. Yeah. And so I had the opportunity to run in college, Division II, so nothing fancy, but Division II.
Hey, listen, you're doing it. That's all that matters.
Right. And so it was a way to help pay for school a little bit and also continue my athletic career. And so just loved being a part of a team. I'm an only child, and so really loved just the camaraderie and the community of a team. and just what putting in hard work does, and how that pays off and your results and outcome. And even if it didn't, it was just a means to try harder and just learning teamwork and trial and error and those things. So it just taught me a lot about myself and what I was really capable of doing. And it just, not just physically, being physically fit and being able to do those things, but also just for my mental health.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can like stress enough how important physical fitness is for someone's mental health.
1,000%.
Absolutely. It's just so, I think it's imperative for somebody just to, I don't know, just be able to release whatever they're hanging on inside through physical activity.
Why is that?
Why do I think physical activity is important for mental health?
Yeah.
Well, naturally, I mean, we release dopamine when we exert. So, I mean, that is the feel-good hormone. We need that in order to just balance and be balanced. And so, I don't know if you've noticed, but life is very stressful.
No.
We live on this side of heaven, and so it's just and it's just gotten worse. You know, it's a very heavy world, and people are cruel, and the world is just mean and evil. And I think it's just more important now than ever that we take care of ourselves and that we are utilizing things, whether that's strength training or yoga or just going on a simple walk.
Yeah. People don't, you made a post about this, I believe it was like a week or so ago, that there are major benefits to just walking 30, 40 an hour.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people always talk about time. Like they always have some sort of excuse. I don't have the time. I don't have this. I don't have that. But you do have the time. It's just what you prioritize. You know, if you can spend 10 minutes scrolling on your phone, then you can spend 10 minutes walking and scrolling. If you want to scroll, that's fine, but you can walk and do that at the same time. You know, you don't have time to listen to a podcast. You know, well, okay, put your AirPods in or whatever and then go for a walk. Yeah. Figure out ways where you have breaks or gaps, even if that's 5-10 minutes, where you can fill that time pouring back into yourself instead of just scratching it off like you don't have any time. Some of my workouts are 30 minutes or less because that's all the time that I have. Yeah. So yeah, I understand that life gets busy. I feel like I'm, you know, the most busy person that I can, you know, think of. Honestly.
And you know what's really crazy? You could still fit more stuff in the do.
Absolutely.
Which is wild.
Absolutely. There's, you know, the gaps that I create for my own well-being. So 100%. If you catch me at 10:30, you know, in a yoga class, it's because I've created that block for myself to take care of myself. Yeah. And when I come back to the studio and I offer a service, it helps me pour back into those people that really need me. So it's a circle of life that what you pour in, you really do pour out.
100%.
And you know, I say this all the time, but I don't want to just be a sayer of my word. I want to be a doer of my word. So I recognize that I am leading by example. It's a lot easier for people to follow me if I'm also doing what I say I'm doing. Yeah.
It's so funny. So recently, obviously, you know, we've been working together. We've been, you know, partnering. Mm-hmm. But the weight loss challenge that I've been on, it's like, again, you go back to time. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to work out. I just wake up earlier, right? So I'm waking up at 4 a.m. every day, go into the gym. It's the first thing I do after swigging some caffeine. Absolute degen behavior, just. But like, you don't have the time. That's such a poor excuse because you can make it, right? You can wake up a little earlier. You could just go do it, right? I feel like sometimes people struggle with just doing it.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard, or the construct in their mind is like, this task is hard.
Well, they've set a barrier in their mind that it's hard, and if they think that any means of hard is cut off. If it's hard, I'm not going to do it. If it's inconvenient, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And honestly, society has kind of built that convenience is everything, and we don't want to invest. We don't want to make the time. We want everything to be easy, and honestly, that's how we were created. But like, humans take the path of least resistance. It's just in our nature to do that. And so when something is hard, we don't want to do hard things. And so honestly, exerting myself physically is probably physically the hardest thing that I can do all day long, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it makes me so much better at what I encounter in my day-to-day life and in the hardships that I do face, is that I recognize that I can do hard things because I just lifted that thing up or put it down. Or, you know, I just went a minute longer than I did last week or the week before that, or whatever that that next thing is. I can look back on my life in reflection and be like, you know what, I've been through some extremely hard things that were probably, you know, meant to, or were coming through to like take me out, and I stood up anyway.
Yeah.
And so it teaches you a resilience that maybe you didn't want, but that was necessary for your growth. And
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know, I'm very growth minded. Probably one of my biggest fears is complacency.
Which real quick, not to cut you off, is evident because every year you've been growing at, I mean, most businesses, you know, they grow and, you know, they kind of go up and down. You've just been like a rocket the past couple of years. And it goes right to your work ethic. I mean, it was like a couple of weeks ago now. We had a meeting at like 6 o'clock where they were talking for like almost 3 hours, it felt like. And it was just back and forth. And we were going over some things for the wellness event and all these other things that we were kind of just talking about. It's like, you're just so dedicated to the craft. I mean, your work ethic is more than I think 99% of people that I know. Yeah. Speaking of work ethic, where does that come from? Did you have like a mentor growing up? Did you have an example of that? Where does that work ethic come from?
Short answer is survival. I think my work ethic comes from living in survival mode. I've given myself no choice. To me, it's do or die.
Yeah.
You know,
but why though?
I guess kind of not getting too far back into trauma, but growing up, my mother was the main provider, and my father was by all means disabled, and so we basically were a single income family, and my mother would work 2-3 jobs, you know, and there's just things watching my family struggle. And having conversations like whether to pay the light bill or whether to buy groceries. Like, I didn't come from money. I didn't come from that, but I did come from work. Yeah. And I watched my family work in order to provide and to, you know, we didn't have everything we wanted, but we have everything we needed. And I think just growing up and kind of watching that dynamic is that I wanted to know that nobody could ever take anything away from me. Like, it was all on me. And at the end of the day, if I failed, it was because of me. It wasn't anybody else. So, I don't know. I think a lot of that is just like getting to a place where I want to create freedom for myself. I want to create a work-life freedom for myself. And if it's in God's will to give me a family, that I've worked hard to a place that where I can eventually be like, hey, like, this is what I want for my life, and I can pour that into my family and be more present with my family. So I think I work really hard now, and that's where that tenacity and drive comes from. Is it comes from my upbringing and a means of survival, but also too, like, experiencing my own hardships in itself, and having to lose everything and like start over again. And so I never want to go back to that woman. And so I'm working really hard now so that if the opportunity presents itself for me to settle down and have a family, that I can do that because I've put in the time and the work in order to spend time with my family, to spend time with the people that I love and that God has entrusted me with, and to be a good steward of that. And so now, as a single woman, it's just me and my dog. And so I'm
Good old Hank,
man. I know I sounded so country when I said that.
Good old Hank, baby.
Oh boy. But you know, I don't have an excuse as to why I shouldn't be working. Like, I'm working for the life that I want, you know, and I don't want to be in bondage to, you know, someone else, or debt or whatever. So I'm working really hard, not only because of that, because of the life that I want, but also because I really genuinely believe in what I'm doing. I believe that God has put a gift inside of me that wasn't meant to be kept for my own sake, but was meant to share with the world. And so like, I'm a firm believer, like, share your gifts with others. If you're talented at something, connecting with people, talking, serving, painting, whatever that is, that you have an art, you have a craft. And at the end of my days, when I stand before my Lord, I want to be like, I gave it all I got.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing left. I didn't go bury it. I didn't keep it for myself, that I shared it with the world. But also too, that while that is a ministry in itself, I believe another ministry is a family. And so I want to be a good example of, like, not only is this something that I believe in and that I work toward every day, but also that I'm spending time where it matters. That when that time comes, and that if I'm, if it's in the cards for me to have a partner and to have children or what have you, that I can pour back in to my family, and that the work has already been done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I didn't get growing up. My mom was absent, and she worked. She was the provider, so I understand that now, as a grown woman. But I just didn't want that life for myself. And so I feel like I've been running away in that means, but also running toward the life that I want to create for myself. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a place in their life where they've literally lost it all and had to start over. Yeah. But when you get to a place like that, you never want to go back there. So I think a lot of this drive comes from that place. It's like, I never want to go back to that place, and I'm committed and dedicated in all aspects to never go back there again. And also too, I believe that God has given me something that is a means to share with other people, and I see how it's revolutionized my life, and I want to see how it can revolutionize the lives of other people. And that's the impact that I want to make. If I were to, I know that my time is limited here, so whether it's at 34 or 94, I want to know that I've made impact. And to me, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me, like, getting up every single morning, is the impact that I make.
What's the definition of impact, though? What is there a number in mind? Is there a goal in mind? Is there financial number in mind? Like, what is impact? Because impact for anyone is very different, right? Like, is it the amount of people that you help? Is there like a number? What is impact to you?
Impact to me is not numerical, and it's not monetary. It's just a difference. Yeah. It's a change. And whether that's a sliver, or seemingly small change. Yeah. Sometimes it's a word. Sometimes it's a hug. Sometimes it's a touch. And I'm really thankful that I offer the services where I get to see that impact in different ways. Whether that's personal training, seeing somebody work through a mental barrier where they say, I can't do this, and then I watch them do it. And I'm like, but you just did. And you didn't just do it once, but you did it multiple times. Yeah. Or, I'm maybe doing a Thai massage, and I see their body let go, and their body just fall open, and their heart just, I don't know, let go to whatever they came in with. I get to see that. I get to hear it in their breath when they or ooh or sigh it out or whatever that is. I get to see it in their face when all those muscles that are tight let go. I get to see people's change if they're doing nutrition with me, like even in their mental state, like how they learn to talk about food and their bodies in a means of fuel and not as a means of, restriction. Like they didn't starve themselves, but they fueled their body, and just the psyche change in that. So just hearing them talk about themselves, of how far they've come and the changes that they're making and how they feel good within themselves. I get the opportunity to see that in so many different means play out in the services that I offer. I don't think, like I said, I don't think that impact is numerical, and sometimes it's not necessarily exponential. Yeah. It's sometimes very minimal, but it matters, and that minimal impact matters. And I think that manifests itself into so many other things, which you asked me earlier about, physical fitness and why I thought that was so important to mental health. I feel like being active it creates a domino effect within the body systemically. it starts something and it manifests itself into so many other aspects of our lives. So when you walk or you exercise, your mood is better. And then you encounter your wife or you encounter your partner and you have a better conversation, a better relationship, a better dynamic. You're kinder to your coworkers, whatever. Maybe you make a better food choice. You have a better sleep. It has systematic benefits from just one action, and that one action is it's huge. It may be small, but it's huge.
It doesn't look like it, but I was a personal trainer at one point. I was ISSA certified, all that. Mm-hmm. Part of the job was human connection, right? Mm-hmm. And there were times where I felt like a therapist, right? It's very personal. It is a very personal connection that you get with a client. Mm-hmm. Someone that is looking to you to help them transform their life. And really, not that you're doing the work, but you're more or less an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Right? Hey, this is the plan. Let's follow the plan. Let's execute. Mm-hmm. For you, because you're very adaptive, you're very hands-on with all that you do. How do you handle the personal connection? Because in a sense, like many services that are like that, I think a barber is very similar. Obviously a regular therapist is like that, where you have a personal relationship because you are helping them gain confidence. You're helping them see a better version of themselves. You're helping them, maybe at some points that's the highlight of their week, where they get to sit down and talk to you, right? So for you, how much pride do you have in that, and the responsibility, the weight of that, does that ever weigh on you?
Absolutely. I think it even goes back to part of the answer of the other question. You're like, what motivates you? What drives you?
Yeah.
My people. There's been times where I want to go and crawl in a hole, but I'm like, because I'm human too.
Yeah.
I think people think as a personal trainer and as a coach, it's like, oh, they got it all figured out. They're living this best life. And I'm like, I'm a human being. And I also go through trials and tribulation and seasons. And my people and what they go through, I take that personally. I'm an empath. And so I feel like I feel that energy when somebody's off. I notice things in their body, things like, are they dragging the leg, or they kind of hunched forward, like postural things that people don't really sometimes think about, that also is a huge connector in their demeanor and how they're feeling. I don't know if you feel like you kind of, like when you're excited, you kind of have a little pep in your step. And then when you're like, you kind of like, we kind of waddle in, strut around. So, I feel like I feed off that energy, and I do take it to heart when my people come in, and maybe they come in for the workout, but that's not what they need. Maybe they just need me to hold space for them, and sometimes that's sharing about a loss. They're going through things too, and during all different seasons of their life. And so sometimes just being that listening ear for them and giving them a safe space to do that, and then being able to exert that in a physical manner, being like, okay, well, we're just going to take it easy today. You're in pain. You're coming off minimal sleep. You've had a rough night. We're not going to dig a grave. That's not what we're here for. But we're still going to move our body, and we're going to take care of our mind, And then maybe they're going through some stuff and they need to let some rage out, Okay, we need to pick up. So do I get it wrong? Yes. There's sometimes I get it wrong, but there's also times I get it right, and that's exactly what my people need. And so sometimes it's just holding space for them and giving them the workout that they need, not necessarily the one that was planned, if that makes sense.
No, it does, 100%. I'm kind of curious because I still don't really know the full story. How did TK Wellness come about? Like, what does that origin story look like? And really, honestly, what made you decide to go this route of owning a business instead of, like most people, train for somebody else? Mm-hmm. Obviously, they take a lot of your money, but like you...
Yeah, they do.
I knew people who were like, yeah, man, like, the gym's, $75 an hour, but they're only going to give me like 25. And I'm like, I'm like...
Yeah, it's a lot.
So most people can go that route as a personal trainer, but what made you decide, and what's the story behind you going on your own and creating TK Wellness?
So TK Training actually started in 2019. It just started as in-home personal training, and I just kind of did it as a side hustle. But kind of fast forwarding, it really didn't develop or me thinking to have my own business until, you know, kind of what I was discussing earlier, like when I literally felt like I lost everything. I've worked in the corporate world. You know, I've worked for local, not local, but franchise gyms, you know, large medical fitness facilities, those things. So I've worked as a personal trainer for almost 15 years. And a lot of my background comes from working in those types of environments. So I know how much personal trainers are making in some of those corporate industries. And even despite me being really good at what I do, like, we make a fraction of really what we're worth in a lot of those industries. Because like you said, we're not just trainers, like we're therapists, and a lot of us are really knowledgeable about other things. That is just a really big deal for whoever it is that we're working with for their overall health and wellness. Yeah. But TK training, about almost 4 years ago now, not to get too personal about it, but I went through a really bad divorce, lost everything. It's a grace. Yeah. Honestly, it was really a gift. Definitely not a story that I wanted for myself, but looking back, it was a grace that was necessary in order to catapult me where I needed to be. And knowing what I know about myself, like, I hold my promise and my word next to God. And so there's no telling the things I would have lost had it been any other way. But I think that there's just things that had to happen. And so me being in survival mode, I took what I knew with the clients that I had. I was coaching at a gym in downtown Hickory, and I asked the owners of the facility to let me rent the back space. And so I would do odd jobs, work part-time jobs, whatever, and then any spare time that I had, I would put into renovating that space, and which would become TK training. And I would establish that as my own business, and eventually, within a year, go full-time.
And this was what year again?
This was in 2021. Okay. Was when I officially established TK training as a business.
That's awesome.
Yep. And so within a year, I had a wait list, and yeah,
big time.
I had a wait list of people that were honestly waited for me. You know, I referred them to other trainers and was like, I don't have the capacity. And then I was starting to realize, like, if this is how this is going to go, then I need to expand. Yeah. I got to get out of here, and I need other means of helping me stay afloat, which is why there was investments, you know, with the hot and cold therapies, the infrared sauna and the cold plunge and the InBody and the other things that would cater to somebody's wellness, but it would be another tether of that, and not just me, that people could go in and be and do these things, and I wouldn't have to necessarily be present, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. Self-sufficient.
Right, self-sufficient. Which I will say this, like, there is nothing about passive income that is passive. I'll tell you that right now. There is maintenance and hard work and a lot of stuff that goes in behind the scenes that people don't think about.
And then when Lenny comes in to do the cold plunge, there's a lot of cleanup because the water goes everywhere.
Well, but that's everybody. That's everybody.
Thank you for making me feel better. Because I feel like I'm just like Godzilla walking in.
No. I mean, there's, you know, in between each session, we go in and we clean. So we're restocking, we're wiping everything down, we're making sure that everything's sanitary and ready to go for the next person.
I will say, you guys are probably the cleanest facility I've ever been to. And again, that night that we were talking, you know, we're having a conversation, and you're just walking around cleaning.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry.
There's one speck of dust.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm like, and again, just like your attention to detail. Yeah. But continue your story.
No, I mean, I take a lot of pride in my space. Yeah. You know, I'm not on borrowed money, and I didn't come from that. So everything that I have and have been able to create, I do take a lot of pride in something that I've been able to build. 100%. And I've been able to do that as a sole proprietor. So yes, I am proud of that, but I also want to share how thankful I am, because I realize that, I don't know, I feel like people, it's really hard for me to take a compliment. I will say that. I recognize what a big deal all that is, but at the same time, like, I don't want anybody to think or get the wrong impression that, like, I'm not extremely grateful for people's support. And I recognize that I would not be here without that. And so that's just really important to me, that people know, that just how grateful I am for that. I wouldn't be here, and TK wouldn't be what it is had it not be for people that I don't even know, strangers supporting me. And so that's why TK has been able to grow exponentially every year. It's because of the community and the clients that have been with me since day one have poured back into me, and they believed in me even when I didn't believe in me. And it's people like you that have me on these things and that also believe in me. And they see what I'm doing, and they give me credit, and they're pouring back into my cup because I pour all day long. You're
like a gardener out there, just.
We talked about this briefly earlier, but like I sleep really hard at night, and it's because I give everything I got every single day.
Yeah.
And it's pouring back into my people. It's pouring back into my business. And even those finer details, the plants and the cleaning and all the things that make TK its space. I believe that having a space that invites people, that invites wellness, that invites a safe space for people to come. Because I recognize when people come to us asking for help, that's not easy. That getting to a place in your life where you feel like you've exhausted all efforts and tried everything, and you're asking somebody,
not easy.
It's extremely difficult. And it's also very hard to like die to your old ways and to learn new ways, and to open up just to open up your mind and your just willingness to let somebody else come in and to help you and to unlearn behaviors that no longer serve you and behaviors that will. So TK training has, while it started, from scarcity, literally in the back of my car with a yoga and maybe 2 sets of dumbbells, and then into, its own brick and mortar. That's because of, I will say a lot of it's because of my own tenacity. I just don't stop. I won't stop. I'm not a quitter. And I will exhaust all of my efforts before that ever gets there. I will use every part of myself and everything that I have to make sure that TK thrives. But it's not just the business; it's the mission. Like that's what I want people to understand. That like TK is just it's just a ministry. It's a ministry to reach people. It's a place of business and those types of things, but it's a space of wellness. And it is a ministry to help other people. And that's what I work for. I want to make sure that I'm helping people the best way that I know how and the best way that I can. And so that's what keeps me going.
I truly just love your passion behind it, because you're just so... this is such a Southern phrase I'm about to say. You're just ate up about it.
Yeah.
Like
my whole demeanor changes.
Literally, like you're just all smiley and bubbly. You walk in and you're just. I think it's so cool. Like I've only got to see like this much, but like when I come in to do the cold plunge and the sauna, like I get to see you interact with your clients, and you have a wide range of clients where it's not like you're not always working with the super athlete, right? You're literally working with average humans who are looking to move better, feel better, and just be better, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like, for you, that must bring you so much joy, because not only are they living better or moving better, they're living healthier, and like you're giving them and you're adding to their life. You're adding potential years to their life that they might not have if they didn't find resources like TK. That's just truly incredible.
Thank you.
I
really appreciate that.
I mean, it's the truth. And I was kind of shocked, because when I went in, like, you're obviously like really fit and super, like you do this. Yeah. Like, for people who don't know, like
I live it.
She does this. She's about this.
I live it.
But like I was expecting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you walk in, it's like, I mean, I won't share who. I don't even know their name, but there's like this older lady. Yeah. That one time I went in, she was probably in her 60s, 70s. Yeah. And like I wasn't expecting that. I was like, and then you're just, so we're gonna do this movement. You're working on your hips. You're doing this. I'm like, so that's what it's about.
Our age range is right now. Our youngest is 8 years old, and our oldest is 83. And so
that's incredible.
Yeah. So, even those kiddos that, as you're growing up, like your body is very lanky. It's growing into itself and you're awkward and your coordination is funky and, all the things.
Yeah.
And there's just fundamentals that I think are really important in working with kids and teaching them about their bodies and the importance of being active and the importance of taking care of themselves. And it's not lifting heavy and stunting their growth and all of that, because there's people who want to say all that. We don't do that. This is not about digging graves and going heavy and going hard all the time. That's not what we do. It is about, a lot of what we do is the educational component. It's teaching people the importance of that mind-muscle connection and what their bodies are created for. Is there to serve them. It's there to carry them through life. You only get one vessel, and you have to make sure that you're being a good steward of that vessel. And so it's planting those fruits as a small as a small child, in hopes that those things will develop as they get older, and they will continue to take care of themselves. And then, of course, with my middle-aged and elderly clientele, that maybe they spent a lifetime sacrificing themselves for others. They've poured back into their family, they've poured back into their work or whatever, and then they've reached a point where who they look at in the mirror, they don't even recognize anymore. They're like, who are you? I don't know who this person is. And sometimes it's a journey about finding yourself. Sometimes it's genuinely that circle of life. It's kids learning to find themselves and their placement. And then, also too, our middle-aged and elderly getting to a place where they've lost themselves maybe along the way, and they have to have a coming back to themselves and be like, I need to pour back into myself so that I can live a quality life and I can be with my family and do the things that maybe I've avoided doing because of pain or limitation or whatever, but I can get back to living a life of quality and the life that I love. And I think that's really important.
What does success look like for Taylor Keys?
What is success in regards to what? Just
like in business, 5 years, 10 years from now, we talk about your tenacity, we talk about your unwillingness to quit, to give up. 10 years from now, what does success look like for you? Where would you want to be fully happy with how much you've sacrificed for TK?
I think the initial response from a lot of people is going to be like, how big or to have more. And to me, it's not about big or more, though that is definitely a goal, I guess. Yeah. But I think success for me is, I feel like I'm already successful. Even if TK was to shut down tomorrow, I would say I was still successful because I gave something my whole heart, and I had the tenacity to give it a shot. And I left no rocks unturned. So I think I've already, let's just say that, my time was to come tomorrow, that TK shuts down or whatever. I feel like I've already been successful because I genuinely believe that I have made impact. I believe that I'm making impact, that I've lived a life on purpose, and that, TK, TK is my full-time job. I'm able to provide for myself completely and fully, having my own business, and I think that's wonderful. I'm so far from where I was, leaps and bounds. And if I could go back and talk to that little girl that thought, man, what the heck are you doing? I would tell her, you're living your dream. And honestly, 5-10 years from now, success to me is in hopes that TK will still be thriving. But I think a big thing is that we don't lose sight of our mission. Is that getting bigger or having more is, sometimes those are easy to say, oh, that's a sign of success. But I think I don't want to get so big and get so far that I forget why I started. And I don't want to get in my own way.
Which a lot of people do. So if anybody listens to this now or later and I have my head stuck up my tail, please pull it out. I think it's easy to do that. Yeah.
But be a part of that tether for me that holds me accountable to my mission. It is genuinely about improving the lives of other people, and that is why I'm here. That's what I believe that I'm here to do. And so, it's not about being bigger or better, or having more or whatever. I'm completely and will always be dedicated to improving and growth and adding all the things and things that I believe that not only will I do for myself because I believe in it, but also for the community that I serve. But I just think that being successful is your impact in the right now. And as long as TK continues to make impact, then TK will continue to grow. And I'm here until God takes me out. With whatever I feel led to do, I will do. And I feel like I'm willing and ready to do the next thing. So I wait with my hammer and my pen, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And I'm just excited about life. I have a purpose, and I'm excited for other people to experience that. And I think that's just what lights me up.
It's so funny. You said something there, and I'm just like, in my head, I go, TK. That's your name. Like
you just got that?
No. I knew that, but I'm saying like for someone to be like for you, it's like you're so passionate, you're so all in. It's like, well, hell, you have to be all in. Your name is literally the business.
It's funny that you say that. So something that I was told as a child, this was my grandfather that told me that. They were like, Taylor, you'll grow up and you'll have stuff. Stuff will come and go and people will come and go, but the one thing that you have is your name. And he was always like, make sure that you're a good steward of that. He's talked to me about the family name. Like the family name was just always really important, and learning about like my heritage and my ancestors.
For sure.
That was just always something that fascinated him. And so that's just something that really stuck with me, is protecting that. And so I hope that I'm being a good steward of the name that I've been given, and that when people hear Taylor Keys or they hear TK, that they hold it in a high regard and that it's reputable. And, I'm here to protect that. And so, yeah, I do have a lot of tenacity because I'm protecting my family name. But I want to be a good steward of that. I want to be a good steward of what God has given me, not just of what I'm called, but, just of the vessel that I live in and reside in, and that I'm leading by example.
I personally think you're absolutely killing it. And I'm not saying that because you're in front of me. I'm not saying that because we work together. I've seen your growth in the past couple of years of just knowing you. And like most people burn out. And I'm sure you have your days. You're human like the rest of us. But like for your unwillingness to just not give up because you see the impact that you have. Like you have people in there every single day. I think there's maybe been one time that I've come to the place where there's no one there, and it's like, oh, you caught me at lunch. Like I'm in between. I get to scarf down food like you did just before the podcast. You're like, I get 2 seconds and then I'm going back into it. So like, I don't know. I commend you. I want to give you your roses. I want to give you your flowers. Like you're incredible. You're killing it. And I'm not saying that just because you're in front of me, but it's so hard to run your own business. It's so hard to pour your heart and soul into the community. But one of the things I love about you, and one of the things I actually really want to kind of touch on real quick, is like your willingness to collaborate, your willingness to partner with other businesses. Like you, not only do you pour your heart and your soul into your own business, but you want to help other people. Wow, I just almost took that off. Like where does that come from? Like collaboration, partnership, where does that ideology come from?
I've had to always figure stuff out. I was raised that way. Like Taylor, figure it out. And I realized how hard it is to figure stuff out by yourself. It's extremely hard to do life alone. And I've done it all my life. And I've reached to a point in my own growth and working through my own challenges that it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to admit that you don't know what you're doing. It is okay to just fall and sometimes be idle for a second because you don't know your next foot.
Taylor and idle in the same sentence just blows my mind.
It is a mind blow, isn't it? But I think it's just so important because being a part of a team too, that's something that I miss. And maybe that's kind of the athlete aspect, is that like I see a teammate down and I'm like, wait, like I could win this race, but like I'm no good without that other person. Like, what does that say about me? It's that integrity, I think. So there's values that I hold near and dear to me. Like, it's one thing if TK is successful, like, I could win the race, but what about all my teammates that I just like trampled over to get there? Like, I don't want in 5-10 years from now in this quote success, look down the line and I'm the only one standing there. You know, I want to look down the line and be like, man, look at all of us. We did it. And it wasn't just my family and what I've built for myself, but it's the families of those that we collaborated and we did it together, that I invested in other people's dreams. Because I realized, you know, it may sound petty or even small, but when somebody shares something, when somebody shares your post, likes your post, comments on your post for free, it's free to, like, you know, to support, by the way. When somebody does that, that's an impact that it makes on me. Like, they don't realize how much time and energy went into something so seemingly small, to make a post, to be vulnerable, to show your face on camera, you know, to share maybe some trauma and life story on a microphone. Like, there's a lot of expenditure that comes from something like that. And so when somebody gives credit where it's due, it's like, hey, girl, I see you over there. Like, I see you over there, you know, passing on the torch and running. It's like, thank you, because I'm tired. You know, I've been running marathons, and I need people there to help me, giving me water, giving me food, giving me a pat on the back. Like, think about how much that matters when you're running this race of life, and you need somebody just to be like, hey, Lenny, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, I realize how hard it is to wake up every single day and to get up and do something. And whether that's, you know, working out, whether that's, you know, going up to somebody you don't know and make a connection. Maybe it's pouring back into a dream where maybe somebody else would have been like, man, just cut your losses and work a 9 to 5, you know? You know, it would be easier.
Oh, yeah.
But would you be fulfilled?
No.
You know? So I think you need people that are your loudest cheerleaders, and I think that should come from your community. I think it should be coming like, I see you, girl, doing this, and I realize how hard it is. I see another personal trainer that's just getting started, and I've been in this for 15 years. Like, people will be like, oh, well, they're my competition, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're your teammate. They can be a vital resource to you that can help you.
And you know what's the craziest part? If you don't have that conversation, you don't know.
You don't know.
And you never know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Because let's say we're competitors, and I'm like, oh, Taylor. But instead I go to you and I'm like, hey, it's really nice to meet you. I do X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh, I would love to offer that. Now you can partner together. There's just so much.
Yep.
Like, I feel like, and this is something I've learned recently, is that people out in this community are great. There's a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing businesses, a lot of amazing nonprofits.
But there's also a lot of people that buck you.
But there's also a lot of people who don't know how to effectively communicate and don't listen and don't.
That's professional and personal. I'll go ahead and say that's that is all the way around.
Because like a lot of people, and you know, and this is in the networking space. A lot of people are like this, you know, putting their hand out, but it's never, hey, what do you got going on? How can I help you? It's always, hey, so let me tell you about this thing. Or like even in the nonprofit space, a lot of people are just like, hey, I want money.
You know,
it's like, hey, how about we partner and we work together and we work something out? You know,
I'll actually say this. There's something that I made recently, and I had some verbiage on it. It said linking arms with other small businesses, and I actually had gotten some negative feedback about that. Somebody said it just kind of put a bad taste in their mouth, like linking arms with other small businesses. And in my mind, and honestly, you know, my response to that is like, if linking arms with somebody that could possibly help you and support you puts a bad taste in your mouth, the problem is not them, the problem is you. That if you have a bad taste for helping people, then I would encourage you to do some self-reflection and to seek out somebody that can help you work through that, because there's some pain or something in there that you're not working through, that if somebody offers their help and their support, it's a means to help you and to make sure that you succeed. It's an act of love.
Yeah.
It's not an act of, revenge or any spite. It's a means like, hey, I believe in what you're doing, and because I believe in what you're doing, I want to support you. Even if I don't monetarily invest in you, I can still cheer for you. I can still give you a nod or a like or a split second share, whatever. Share the arrow. But a review, like, or mention your name in a crowd of people. there's so many ways to support other people, and if you have a bad taste in your mouth of supporting another business, even if they're doing the same thing, same thing you are, a chiropractor and a chiropractor, a personal trainer and a personal trainer, a functional medicine doctor and another functional medicine doctor. Well, newsflash, you can't serve every single person that needs your service. And there's going to be days where you don't have the capacity and you don't have the tools or the resources, and you need that other person and you need to tag them in. And there's going to come a time where you need that support and you're going to wish somebody had supported you. So I think you create a circle of life, and we can all be successful if we learn to help each other instead of stomping on each other. If I'm running a race of life and I reach out for a drink and this other person is 5 feet behind me, why don't I just take that and give that to the other person? I'm still standing. They're the one that are like half dead. It's like, I don't need that for myself. Like, I want, like I said, I want in 5-10 years from now to look down that line and I have a village of people.
I mean, because it literally takes a village. I think another thing too is competition is this made up thing. Mm-hmm. So like I'm in Leadership Caldwell right now, and we're working on like effectively communicating and teamwork and all this stuff. And we did this task where there's 5, they're called skids, but we'll call them pallets because that's what y'all call them out here. We call them skids up north, it's Yankees. Anyway, we're on these pallets, and there's 8, 9 of us on each pallet. And the way that they said to do it was, you guys got to get to the other side.
Yep.
You guys have to get to the other side. We're split up into groups. Yeah. So we automatically, for 45 minutes, attempted to work on our own. Mm-hmm. The instructor said, stop. And he said, why didn't you ask for help? Yeah. Why didn't you guys work together? And why didn't you ask them for theirs to help you get across? And then you can send your stuff back to them to help them get across. Yep. And we all went.
Didn't consider it.
There was 16 or 18 people. Not a single one of us thought about it, or even went, hey, so like, can we, you guys want to just add? No one even mentioned it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's like in the small business world. And competition is a made up thing.
Yeah.
There is, like you said, even if you had 4 people on your staff, 5 people on your staff, you still couldn't service everybody in and around the Hickory community.
Yeah. I mean, I now have trainers that work with me.
Yeah.
And we can't serve everybody.
I think it's absolutely insane. We are running a little short on time, so I do have 2 last questions for you. Who is your ideal client? Like, if someone's watching this right now, or someone's watching and maybe they know this type of person, what is that ideal client for you, and who you work with?
I think my ideal client is the person that's willing to make the change. Whether that, it's not a particular age range, it's not a particular fitness goal. It's someone that values health and wellness, and they realize that maybe they can't do it by themselves, that maybe they've exhausted all their efforts. They've quote unquote tried everything, and they need somebody to come alongside them and hold them accountable and educate them as to what that next step is. And whether that's personal training, that's a thing in itself. Maybe they're not ready for that. Maybe they need something else. Maybe they just need stress management, like Thai massage and stretch therapy. Maybe they need recovery, like a infrared sauna and a cold plunge. Maybe they need nutritional guidance. Whatever that is, I think my ideal client is somebody that is willing to make the changes necessary to create a different life for themselves.
I love that. And real quick, if you could just go through the services that you offer at TK.
It's a long list, Lenny.
It's like a CVS receipt.
Yeah. So, and all this can be found at our website, by the way. So if you forget everything that I say, everything is on our website at tktraining828.com. It is one-on-one personal training, group training, sport-specific training for kids 8 years and older, nutrition coaching, in-body scans, infrared sauna, cold plunge, meal prep services, Thai massage, stretch therapy, and I think that's it. I got the count going. We're 10, at 10. 10.
We're at 10. And that's what I mean. Like, you you guys are an all-around health and wellness center.
Yep.
You guys do literally, I feel like, just about everything. Is there anything that you don't do that you want to offer at one point?
Yeah, that's a lot.
She's like, I need 15 more certifications.
No, I'm not taking on anything else. If somebody, I will,
The next time I do. Yeah, so by the way, I took like 3 more classes.
don't put that on me. I would love to offer a mental health component. I would love to have a therapist or a counselor that is on staff.
That's incredible.
To help with just behaviors. I run into a lot of that with my training clients and my nutrition clients, is that mental barrier that they have with their decisions and things that they've made or not making, they're not willing to implement because out of fear or whatever reason, out of trauma, those learned behaviors that are necessary to make the change. It's not about knowing. A lot of people know what to do, they just don't know how to do it, or they're not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Or they'll start something and they'll do it for like a week or two, and then they drop off. And so I want TK training and wellness to be the difference. I don't want it to be a fad. I don't want it to be a 2-week drop off. I don't want it to be a New Year's resolution. I want it to be the difference, and I want to create a sustainable lifestyle change for everyone that we serve. But it's just like the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. Yeah.
So last thing before I ask you our final question that we ask everybody to close out the podcast, how can people find you? How can people get in contact with you? Social media, go through the whole gambit. All the links that she just talks about will be in the description below.
Thank you. Best way to follow us or contact us is our social media. So Facebook and Instagram at TK Training and Wellness. Our website at tktraining828.com. And then you can contact us directly through our website or DM us. That's the best way, honestly.
I just realized I've been calling it TK Wellness since literally I've met you, and
that's
it's
okay.
TK Training. TK Wellness just like flows, and I was saying, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I mean, we rebranded probably a year and a half ago from TK Training to TK Training and Wellness. And the reason why we did that is because we offered all these other services. And so we didn't want people just to, it started as TK Training.
Yeah.
Because it was just initially personal training. But TK Training and personal training has evolved to all these other therapies that we offer.
Which are just like supplemental to the actual physical training. Because like if you're physically training, your body's inflamed.
Right.
So you need all these different things to lower that inflammation, to feel better.
Well, I would even say this, like not all of our clients are just personal training clients. There's clients that are not personal training clients. There's
Really?
clients that are just nutrition. There's clients that are just coming in for Thai massage or stretch therapy. You do not have to be a client at TK to use the services of TK. And so, maybe you're just coming in and using the sauna and the plunge,
Guilty as charged.
So there's so many, that's why we offer our services, because it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
That one client is not necessarily going to utilize all the services. I want them to understand that those services are available to them, and it's only going to help elevate their wellness experience and their journey. But at the same time, it's not a one size fits all, that what you need and what works for you may not be one of those services or all of those services. It might be an as needed thing. Like maybe you just need to come in once a month for stretch, or once a month for Thai, or whatever that is. Maybe you're being gifted something. You're in from out of town and you want to come visit a space like ours. You're getting product or whatever, and you want to know where your products are coming from and that they're, clean, healthy products, and they're not ultra processed and full of junk.
Garbage.
But whatever that is, sometimes it's not even people utilizing those services. Sometimes it's maybe coming to purchase a product, or it's one service in particular. And then, sometimes you have those clients that, they're all in and they use everything. So it's like I said, it's not a one size fits all. We're here to serve and meet the needs of where the client is right then.
So, absolute last question. We asked every single guest who's ever been on the podcast.
Okay.
For someone watching, what is the best piece of life advice that you can give them?
Embrace the hard. That is honestly one of our kind of mission statements. Life is inevitably hard. It'll always be stressful. It'll throw you curveballs, grief and loss and pain and sickness and what have you. Instead of running away from it, I would encourage you to lean into it. It will teach you so much about who you are and what you're capable of if you learn to embrace it and sit with it and face it instead of running and suppressing it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all you do for the community. Obviously, a little selfish plug. I also appreciate all you do for me. I love working with you. It's been great, and I look forward to what we can accomplish in the future. So make sure you go check out TK Training and Wellness. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I'm so sorry. TK Wellness just like flowed for some reason.
If it flows, I wasn't going to correct you.
I was like, why isn't she correcting me? Am I saying it right? But make sure you go check out TK Training and Wellness. All their social media links and website, everything is going to be in the description below. Make sure you go check out and support an amazing local business. Speaking of that, another amazing local small business, our sponsor, Lake Hickory Pub and Marina, where lake and life meet. Thank you to them for allowing us to film here. But until next time, hit the subscribe button, follow us on all social media platforms, but most importantly, lift love, crush hate. We out.